Watching West Wednesday, 623, Justice for Tyrone West and Justice for all victims of police brutality. Tawanda, it's all you.
Thank you. We're going to play the video that we play every week. We'll be right back. Mic check.
Can't stop, won't stop, till killer cops or in cell blocks. Can't stop.
The following video portrays an incident of assault and violence at the hands of police. Viewer discretion is advised.
I suggest you back the fuck up.
No, why you want to Why would you say that?
This is Baltimore City Police Officer Jorge Bernardes Ruiz. In a video shot in 2016, Ruiz is seen with his knee on the back of an unknown man with a gun pointed at the man's head. His message was a clear one. Concerned onlookers, adhere to my dictates or else. Here, we can hear Ruiz saying to Baltimore residents,
I suggest you back the fuck up.
It is documented that Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardes Ruiz is a repeat violent offender, even without access to all complaints against Ruiz, undisclosed by BPD Internal Affairs records. 6 cases involving Ruiz are known. This video will briefly highlight 6 total cases beginning in July of 2013. Case 1, Abdul Salam, July 1st, 2013. Here Salam is seen victoriously smiling in celebration after the jury found Ruiz and 2 other cops liable for brutality against him. However, because the trial was civil, not criminal, Ruiz was not fired and he did not go to jail.
Police profiled me. They followed me in the back of my house, harassing me. Police proceeded to violently and hostilely approach my van with me and my son in it. As I announced, this was my home, guns drawn. Once they reached my vehicle, they violently pulled me out, ramshacked my vehicle with my 3-year-old son strapped in his car seat, threw me against the gate, slammed me repeatedly. Picked me up by my feet, and while I'm upside down, they proceeded to drop me on my head, hog-tie me, and immediately when I fell on my head, Ruiz, in a wrestling type of action, and kind of hit his knee against my neck. I was arrested. I had no idea what I was being arrested for. My son is scarred to this day. He remembers the incident as it happened yesterday. When he talks about it, he always refers to Daddy being on the floor with police yesterday.
Case 2, Darrell Harris, profiled, as seen in this video, July 17th, 2013.
Yeah, I said, what's wrong with it? Improper way with it. There's no such thing as an improper way.
You gonna tell me my driver?
I know the law.
Are you gonna tell me the law?
I know the law.
You gonna tell me the driver?
I know the law. What's the problem? You giving me a ticket? You need my license registration?
Yeah, let me get it.
The profile, y'all use the seatbelt as a reason. Profile.
Do me a favor, take out your keys.
Yeah, you can record me. For what? Nah. I don't feel safe right now. Do you want me to step out the car? Do you want me to step out the car? I'll step out the car. Call the police, man. What do you call a supervisor? I want to do shit. This is getting uploaded to the internet right now. Yeah?
And we are 2 law-abiding citizens that we are getting targeted, and I don't know why.
Just 24 hours later, Bernardes Ruiz played a leading role in the police killing of unarmed Tyrone West. Case number 3, the murder of Tyrone West, July 18th, 2013.
My brother Tyrone West was brutally murdered on July the 18th, 2013.
In both of these cases, when you look at the pleadings and the harsh language of these officers that have been quoted to me by reliable witnesses, the N-word.
And Killer Ruiz and Killer Chapman And the rest of those 11 to 15 killers, including David Lewis, took something from my family that they could never give us again. And that was my brother Tyrone West, one unarmed man who was brutally murdered, beat to death in broad daylight.
Tawanda, you're on.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So I want to thank everybody for, and I'm sorry that we're online. I was planning on being outside, but early. So we will be out in the streets on the 16th. July the 16th is a Wednesday coming up, and I'm going to announce it, and I want everybody there. And as we get closer to my brother's commemoration date, that's really sad, and that's gonna be happening that Friday 18th. So this is a lot going on, and right now I'm very disappointed at the Baltimore City Police Department, cop Worthless Worley, because literally we was already going through, grieving and still not healed about Brother Bilal getting gunned down, shot at over 38 times. One man, like that was an overkill. And literally to do that in such a horrible fashion, and all he can say is foolishness, is very disgusting and heartbreaking. And then turn around a 70-year-old lady that suffers from mental health crisis, and then if that wasn't enough of blood on your hand, you go and you kill a young man for a traffic stop that was suffering from mental health issues. It's disgusting. A mental health issue should not deem a person dead. You should not be killed because you're suffering from mental health. Disgusting, and it's horrific, and I'm sick of it. So again, I have something. Like, it's disgusting. It is so disgusting. But on the 16th, I will announce it. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell it now. On the 16th, we're going to be at the headquarters downtown because I want to do a big protest in front of Worthless Worley. It was a that went on yesterday by People Powers Assembly. I wanted to join them then to tell Worthless Worley some stuff, but because of the rain and my work schedule, I couldn't make it down there because I definitely wanted to go down there. So I said, you know what? We'll come together with more coalitions, but on the 16th, mark it on your calendar at 6 o'clock, we're going to meet downtown at the Baltimore City Police headquarters. So y'all can mark that on your calendar right now. And Worthless Worley, be ready for me. Like, and I'm not coming, violent. I'm not a violent person, but I'm coming with power, and that's my voice. Y'all may have the weapons, but we have the voices, and you cannot shut us up. That is disgusting. How many more people gotta die on your watch, and you keep on deeming? And then I was really saddened that when they wanted to get on the news today and talk about, the murder rate is down. It's down, but y'all killing us. It's like they take turns leaving it to me, and this ain't the West Coalition. This is strictly Tawanda Jones talking. This ain't nobody, please don't have nobody associated with the West Coalition what comes out of my mouth. I feel like with these unsolved crimes, we don't know if who's killing who or what is killing what. They could just be undercover killing people. So now you stop killing community. Now you just want to go with your uniforms on and kill us. Like, it's disgusting. At the end of the day, nobody, and I always said, and I'll stand by it, nobody deserves to be brutally murdered and executed. So, like I said, it's a lot going on, and I'm really disgusted, and I'm sending love to my sister that is doing a Leah's Day today, and I would have been there, but it's West Wednesday. But, I'm just sending her love because that mother should not have, had a memory of her child being murdered. A beautiful daughter that just graduated high school, had a whole life ahead of her and everything, ready to go off to college and simply do what teenagers do. Let me go to a cookout. Let me go hang out with my friends to a cookout. I have a teenager, so I have young adults now, but I have a teenager. And it's sad and it's scary. Nobody should have to worry about my child not being able just to go and have some fun. And the fact that the way the commissioner played it off like he didn't know that's an angry event that happened every year, that happened more than a decade. So you mean to tell me you didn't know that was happening? And again, what he does is victim blame. He's famous for blaming victims for their own pain. That's what he does. He was just like, it was so many people in Brooklyn homes when it happened, all this stuff. And I'm disgusted at my man. I love Brandon Scott, but I'm disgusted at him because you should have been fired, that piece of crap. Yeah, I said it's not the West Coolest. I'm very disappointed in you, Brandon Scott. You need to never should have hired him. And we stood up and we went to town hall meetings because at the end of the day, he was on the team. When my brother got murdered, he was working at Northeast Police then and couldn't even handle his stuff. Not to greet my family in a respectful way, but just to come off there. But he always did. Now, and it's so sad that he's doing it so much. He's starting to resemble a son. It's crazy. Like, every time I look at him, I'm like, what in the blood off your hand? You need to get it together and realize these are people. Just because let's say living, which by the way, you should be living here, but we already know that that's not true. And even if it is the case, who cares? You're safe where you're at, but meanwhile, people on the street are not safe. How many more people got to die before you say enough is enough? But at the end of the day, they're not going to say enough is enough. And I'm very disappointed and I'm very heartbroken for the simple fact that we're coming up with my brother commemoration and I still don't have no accountability. You know how disgusting and heartbreaking that is? Like, that's really disgusting. And I'm very heartbroken. Like, that is terrible to actually fight over a decade, literally, and still don't have no accountability, still don't have no justice. Like, it's sad. Even though we're getting closer and closer, and I feel like it's about, you're never going to give up. I'm never going to stop. Cell blocks. And that's why I always said, because there's a difference from it takes his or her job serious and they want to be a difference maker than one that stands by somebody get killed or somebody that's killing somebody. Those who I'm going after, the killer cops. And it's just sad. And I feel like we just need to not back up because I'm tired of playing the dog and pony. Dustin, and I just want to open up to see if Uncle Bill or Brian or anyone on here want to add to the conversation. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I think I'm good. You're hot today, and you're telling the truth. By the way, I agree with you that I'm discussing with the mayor too for having hired Worley and not having fired him. Anyone else like to jump in?
Mic check. Mic check. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Yeah, this is Kalia coming on. I just wanted to say I also echo the sentiments of Tawanda and Bill, and that, again, it's disappointing but unsurprising, the tactics, the words, the rhetoric of these politicians and the cops that work for them and with them that they use against us. Today, actually, separate from the West Coalition, but as part of community activism, I, along with comrades of Progressive Labor Party, held a rally at Northeast Market on various topics, big ones being, of course, anti-police terror, police murder, anti-genocide, calling out the complicity of the U.S. government in arming Israel and maintaining the genocide of Palestinians and the denial of their humanity and any kind of aid to come to them. And so it was a great experience because, again, we were able to talk about these issues with people and hear their thoughts, and just let people know in the community that, we have people that want to organize, that actually want to continue putting this kind of pressure on institutions that, continue to either go along with the system and quietly maintain whatever power they have or any kind of security they try to have financially or just as, a power within, our society. So a big thing that we decried was, the system of capitalism that even allows, these atrocities to go on. So a big part of, for us, was calling that out, and for us seeing another alternative to this murderous system that affects all workers, not just those in Gaza, but here in Baltimore, of course, and everywhere else. Big thing for us was calling out what we think is a better alternative of communism, having a world that is run for workers and by workers. And again, just for, groundwork, building up in the community, having the protection among ourselves, and making sure that when we are under attack, we're fighting back for one another. It's not just on a case-by-case basis. Mic check.
Mic check.
A mic check. Yeah, and I thank you for sharing, Mr. Queen, and thank you for all the work that you're doing. And the thing that I love about the West Coast is how unique we are. Like he's a communist, that's her, that's her belief. Like I'm a religious person, that's my belief. When we come together with different belief, but we believe in one purpose, cause, and one fight. And that's that nobody deserves to be brutally murdered, and we know we can all agree that police brutality isn't right. Like it's sad and it's disgusting. And, just living in this time, seeing the things that I'm embracing and seeing, I never would have dreamt that in 2025 that we would be going through this. I don't know what I envisioned, but this truly wasn't it. As your Trump did.
Tawanda, we've lost you for a moment.
They run in the Capitol, all that. And nobody get held accountable, but you let a criminal run the whole country, but yet and still there's voters that went to jail because they had, was a convicted criminal and they went to go vote and got time. They had to, when they were arrested, but he could just do whatever he wants. And we're in a society, and that's why I say knock it down and build it back up again, because the fact that right now we're in times where people are making up rules to fit their agendas. And the stuff that they're doing is so disgusting. Like, literally, if we look at the terminology and the language that they use, like, you have these people that are racist, KKK members that will say, we're the Proud Boys. We're proud of being racist. We're proud of taking someone's life because of their skin color. Like, that's disgusting. And then you got the orange agent talking about this big, beautiful bill as if that's something that's going to save us or help us. Like, get out of here with the foolishness. But again, we're in times now where people of power are making up their own rules right now. Their rules. And at the end of the day, we're the ones suffering. At the end of the day, they're spreading us out. And it breaks my heart and it makes me sick to my stomach when we can't even just have a conversation about police officers murdering us in cold blood, because there's a big difference between community violence. Both of them, yeah, true, are horrible and horrific. And it's very disgusting. And the family member at the end of the day would not care less if it was a killer cop or someone, their neighbor. They don't care because at the end of the day, the damage is done. Their loved one is no longer here. You know, but the difference is with these killer cops, we know who they are, we know what they did, and they hardly get any time. And I'm just so sick of look at all the stuff that's happening in our city. We don't have to look nowhere. Normally we read like this big national list where we see and hear things, but we're reading stuff. The stuff that I'm seeing in my own city right now is mind-blowing because it sounds like our list that we read every week that's like scattered out. Like you might hear something in New York or North Carolina or Texas. This is all happening in our city. 3 victims murdered, executed in my own city. And then if that wasn't enough, you got a rapist, a pedophile, literally talking about, and then the way the media, and that's why I always been convinced that the media works directly with police. The media works directly with the police department. They work for them, literally. Because the way that they were presenting the news about what happened with a baby and a pedophile, you would have thought it was a love story. You would have thought it was 2 teenagers messing around. One was an officer. No, this is a grown man in his 30s messing with a baby, a 16-year-old, a pedophile. And they're like, oh, well, you know, an officer, he raped his girlfriend. Da, da, da. What about the pedophile? What, like, that is sick. They're leaving all that stuff out, and everything is always romanticizing, you know, making the office look good. But then meanwhile, they'll go back into your childhood and go so far and be petty and say, oh, you threw a pencil at one of your teachers when you were a kid in 1st grade. That's how petty they are. They will try to find anything to say. But when it comes to these killer cops, you don't hear about all the people that they murdered or all the dirt that they did. Because when they brought up the ones that killed my brother, I had to be my own conscious consumer. I had to do my research. My brother name out, and I kept saying, let's be crystal clear. On July the 18th, 2013, Tyrone West was not on any outstanding warrants. He wasn't breaking the law. The only thing he was doing was driving black while living in America, in the United States of America. That's what I said, and that's what I'll stick to. You know, they try to his past, he ain't never murdered nobody. You know, and it's just sad and disgusting, but that's what they do. They always try to victim blame and make the victim seem like crap. And whenever you have a victim, when the police kill them, the first thing they try to do is say that the victim was either high off of drugs. Everybody they kill, they always say, oh, they had some type of drugs in their system. Whether they took it or they swallowed it, ingested, running from the cops, they always got the same story but a different name. All they do is read the same narrative and just take the name out. Take the name out, put another victim name in, and it's disgusting. We need to get to a point where as though we're going to be like, you know what, enough's enough. Knock it down, build it back up. Like literally. Like at what point, is enough enough? Like, and they're trying so hard, they're itching for trouble. Like they're trying to do something to where so that they can send the National Guards out here to take over our rights and all of that stuff. That's why, like, come on now. You really pick Bilal, someone that was in the community, someone that you terrorized his brother back in 2015. You lied, and they want a suitcase against you. Should have been in a cell block, but they want a suitcase against you. So now they're on your target list. So now once you get one family member, you going for all of them. And then you go and kill the brother in cold blood, stinking animals. And we still want to hear what the video was saying. And let's not forget Tyree Moorhead. They did the same thing. They gunned him down. But he didn't get, and God forbid, even though he got, but we saw the officer reloading, but he didn't let off the rest of the shots. But he was ready. You ain't even tell him Nantown drop the knife or none of that stuff. You just say, get down to the ground. And you see Tyree Moorhead going down to the ground. In case you don't know who Tyree Moorhead is, he was the one who started the no-shoot zone right here in our city, telling people about community violence. For the ones that were separated and all that kind of stuff, yeah, he was one of them. But he also was exposing the dirt and corruption of these dirty cops. He had a rap about dirty cops. He exposed every time he saw one, he put the camera in their face. He did all that. But then the first thing y'all wanted to do when he got murdered, oh my goodness, Tyree suffered from mental health issues. Get out of here. What about the cops that murdered him? Let's talk about their mental health issues and why they coming in our community feeling comfortable with killing us. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So Khalil, my queen, I want to go to the to see if we have any questions or comments at this time. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Yeah, starting off, we have a mic check from Judah, mic check from Adina, mic check from Angela. And then Adina said, worthless Worley needs to go. Descartes also commented, mic check. Adina commented, the crazy part is that Baltimore Police Department killed 3 people in 8 days. Bilal Abdullah was the second member of his family that was brutalized by a cop. The 70-year-old lady's daughter was trying to get guardianship, and a judge refused to waive the filing fee that she couldn't afford. Our system is all about money and not safety or security for our citizens. Judah asked, are BPD murders counted towards the number of murders in our city? Adina commented, not sure, but they should be. Descartes commented, Trump is merely the symptom. I commented, news media distort how workers understand government corruption, another tactic to divide us and maintain fear from questioning and fighting back. Mainism commented, mic check. Dina commented, they definitely seem to have a script that they follow. They killed Tyree right near one of his no-shoot zones. Guarantee a majority of BPD have mental health issues, murderous hyenas. And Ansel Jones commented, mic check. And that's all the comments up to date.
Mic check. And thank you, Queen, for that. And thanks everybody for calling. Great points from everybody. It's like, it's sick after a while, you get tired of talking, and I'm past that point. Like, I'm tired. Like, I'm ready for direct actions, that's going to save us. And right now, we're to the point that anything like, seeing as like we take over local control of our police department, this is what happens. They're determined to let us know that you ain't got local control over nothing. You may think you got control, but they're the ones that got control. And that is disgusting. That is so disgusting, and it's sad, and it's heartbreaking. And it's to the point that this is a club that nobody signs up for. How many more people are going to get recruited into some lifestyle that they never asked for? And when they recruit, they're recruiting families. Because when you kill or attack one family member, you're brutalizing the whole family, the whole entire family. So now you're signing up unlimited members. We for this. We did not ask for this. But again, I want to hold the city accountable. Like, worthless Worley, you're disgusting. Like, how can you sleep at night knowing Aaliyah was murdered on your watch and another young man was murdered on your watch, and so many people were shot in Brooklyn home nearly 2 years ago, and stuff is still happening, and you don't care. You don't care. And it's sad, but I believe in karma. I just wish karma on every one of you guys. Karma, that's what I wish. Whatever you get, I want you to get double for your trouble. And it's sad and disgusting. I really do. Because it's sad, and it's to the point they're comfortable to brutalize somebody, beat somebody down in the street, and go back to business as usual. Like, go back to going home to your family, your loved one, your kids, and all that stuff. And meanwhile, a family heart is broken forever. Meanwhile, you got their loved one is on the next person on the news, the next victim on the news that they didn't even ask to be a part of. It's so sad and heartbreaking. Like, we're in times that, like, I can't believe that I'm living in this era. Like, I thought the worst thing I was going to experience was me. I'm not even going to lie, because I never even thought I would actually see a time where we'd be locked in our homes, no one can go outside, and all.
Tawanda, we've lost you again.
And it seems like these officers are, and they like starting trouble. They literally like starting trouble. We even seen the video of an officer. He knows that, COVID-19 is real. It was killing people. Disrespectful, but went through a black community, y'all, coughing, straight coughing on people. And they did an interview about that with me. They called him the coughing officer. But that's just how disrespectful they are. No respect, and it's heartbreaking and it's disgusting. So I just want to add on to our conversation and add anything that I might have missed, other points of views that you guys want everybody to know. Okay.
Well, I have a question. One of the people we'll be upholding this evening in the list of recent killings by the police is from here in Baltimore, the 70-year-old who was having a mental health situation, and the cops ruthlessly took her life. But I don't know how to pronounce her first name, so I'm going to try and see if somebody can correct me, so when we honor her, we can get it right. It looks like Pider Karcha Brooks. Pider Karcha Brooks. Is there anyone on the live stream that knows how to pronounce her name properly?
Could you spell the
Sure,
name out?
it's Pytorcarcha. If no one knows, we'll just do the best we can. I want to be dignified and give her all the respect we can. Mic check.
Mic check.
Yeah, but it's just sad. Did you know? And then anybody don't know about this elderly woman, somebody grandmother, probably somebody great grandmother. Someone lived their life for 70 years, and you can imagine all the stuff that this beautiful queen has endured in her life to make her suffer from any type of mental health issues. Could be dementia, anything that goes along with old age, and yet they know that was a house that these officers, got over 20 calls to. Like, so they know that this is somebody literally suffering from mental health issues. And what did they do? They didn't do anything to stop it. Like, they did nothing to stop it. They killed her. And then the only excuse they can say is, oh, one of the officers fell over a table. Like, what? Like, so, because you're tripping. You're literally tripping. And because you tripped over a table, you're going to blow. He's the old lady. That was enough to kill her. To be honest, it's like you electrocuting somebody on the spot. Like, they're so disgusting, but they wouldn't have did that to they mother. I guarantee you they wouldn't have. And then for people to be like, oh, well, this one did that, or victim blaming. Let's talk about David Lithicum. He shot 2 officers, took a police officer's car, and they held the county down on siege for 4. And then they had the nerve to say when they retrieved him, oh, well, I wondered if he was cold outside because it was cold, and he a t-shirt. Like, are you kidding me? They do. And I'll take you back a little bit further. When the white young boy went in a church and executed church members, literally, and they brought this dude out with a bulletproof vest and took him to Burger King. Make him lie, research it.
Dylan Roof.
And that's what they do to these white serial killers. They hide them. When they kill them, come in the black community. My cousin Tavon Anderson was killed by a white serial killer. Literally. And they didn't charge him. Literally with a handgun. Like you know what I mean? Going, ride somebody over, hit them with my car, but I'm just charged because, like, foolishness. Like, make it make sense. Disgusting. But when it comes to white crimes, that's what they do. They water it down. When you're white, you're right. They're going to find a way to water it down. And that is so disgusting. And literally, I had to go on trial and sat and watch this serial killer look me in my face after he murdered my cousin, kept looking back, and nobody really in the courtroom didn't even stop that type of behavior. But let it would have been a black man that killed somebody. Let me kill somebody, God forbid, and I'm setting up the court, and I keep looking back at the family. They would have warned me and every damn thing. And I remember going through the trial with Keith Davis Jr., how they had him shackled and unshackled, yes, in front of the jury. But yet, the jurors never seen Everett Swartz get shackled, serial killer that murdered my innocent Tavon Anderson. Like, I'm over the system. It ain't no justice. And it's sad and disgusting on all ends. And I always make it hot. That's why they call me Hot Face. I'm going to keep making it hot. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not intimidated. So y'all can play all the little tricks y'all playing by putting y'all little blockers all around my house, doing all the foolishness you're doing. But guess what? I'm going to keep standing on truth power, 10 toes down. And I'm going to keep living my life to the fullest. And I'm not going to be intimidated. I've been going through this for over a decade. So when one will ask me, damn, how can you be like calm through your situation? Baby, literally waking up, taking your babies to school. When my babies was in middle school, I'm riding them to middle school, one in elementary school. I'm riding them, car riding, fine, all that. Pulling a school parking lot, come back out, all my tires slick. All of them, stabbed with a knife. I got that abuse every week to the point Uncle Bill on this line started a tire fund. Then we up the ante. Somebody cut the wheel away from the axle. God forbid. The West Coast is Sister Wanda Jones. I remember God's hand is on my life and he protects me. So when I get sick feelings or not to go I listen. Trust and believe me, I listen. He gives me vision. He directs my path. I don't know about yours, but as far as me, he directs my path. And it's sad and disgusting to go through. And then the stuff follows you to work. You go up to work your butt off, to work hard, and you get treated like trash. All because you're an advocate. And not even an advocate, a freedom fighter. Because I'm not an activist. Because to me, an activist is somebody acting. And they're visiting. Acting like they can. Let's be crystal clear on that. I'm a freedom fighter. I am my brother's keeper. And it's sad. How can I outlive or get older than my older brother? Somebody that raised me. That don't even make sense to me. Somebody that literally raised me, poured into me. And literally, as we're approaching this, I'm getting ready to come up on his commemoration, y'all. And I done lost a whole lot through this fight, and I'm doing all new. And I'm glad. God is good. New job, new man, new life, all that. And I'm loving every part of it. But anybody that watched my journey, watched my fight, they know the pain and hell I've been through. Literally. Like, you can't make this stuff up. And the good part about it, every time I come to you, I'm correct. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do no drugs. I'm coming to you from a clear head. even with all the foolishness that happens, that you can't even wrap your mind around. But I'm telling y'all, believe people when they tell you stuff happened, because you could be that last person that they're crying out to, and you don't believe in God forbid something happened, and you gotta live with that guilt. You think I'm lying? Look up the activists that all were murdered, that stood up on the front line for Michael Brown when they had their uprising. Look up all 4 of those brothers that stood up. They were all burned. One was hung from a tree, literally, in his mama's backyard. Darren Stills shot, gunned down, burned up in his car, and the rest of the actors shot, gunned down, burned up in their car. Y'all think that's a coincidence? No. And let's even talk about, and I'll take you a step further. The young man that had and I can't think of the name because it's too much. And after my brother got killed, so I used to remember names and all names from they stole my innocence, y'all. I'm not lying. I looked at the picture of me, and I'm glad that I could relate to my sister Adina, because she saw it. She could see like the innocent in my eyes, the natural like look, and I wasn't even smiling because that was the day, that picture that I posted from 2013, a couple, like I think it was like yesterday it was, and I was like, 2 days or whatever days before my brother got killed, type of thing. But I looked at the end and so like I could used to naturally, beautifully smile. Now I look so serious, and that's why I look serious in all of my pictures, even if it's a happy occasion. They stole my stuff. They took my soul out my body. They ripped it, they shredded, and you don't think I'm going to fight? You don't think I'm going to fight? And I'm not only out there just fighting for my brother, I'm fighting for all of us. And that's what they know about me. That's exactly what they know about me. You think they like it? No. I wear Target 24 hours a day. And guess what? I'm going to rock this Target. I got the Target matching my high heels when I go step out on the street. I'm not going to live like I hurt someone or did something wrong. I'm going to, till the day I go away. I'm going to represent my life, and I'm going to represent all the victims of police brutality, includes community violence. And it burns me up and cooks my skin when we can't even have a topic about police terrorism. When somebody will come out and say, oh, well, we need to hold our own accountable. We need to stop killing each other. What did that officer, an armed officer, coming in our community, gunning us down or beating us up or entering our homes, terrorizing us, home invasions? What do that got to do with any of that? Nothing. So stop keep having that messed up masses mentality. The yes masses, our eyes are just want another day, so our eyes are going to say anything. No, it's not going down like that. I'm going to speak truth, what I believe is to be true. And it's said and discussed. So as we approach Friday, which I can't wait to be off, but I ain't going to be out there on no grill for the 4th of July. The 4th of July. Like, nah. So-called Independence Day. We ain't got no independence in America. And as much as my brother and me used to love before that happened, celebrating just different stuff like that, y'all took that from me. All I keep thinking about the time when I was celebrating the 4th of July was with my big brother. He threw his own cookout. We got grit crabs and all that. He got on the grill, all that. And we had a wonderful time. But they took that. It's like y'all don't realize when y'all brutalize and hurt somebody's family, y'all put in, I'm telling y'all, it's terrible. And we still have to work and earn our way in this world. Unfortunately, like even if your job, I might rock it out and let you take like some time to yourself. You might go on family leave, to get yourself together. But when you still get back to work, don't be there. And I don't care any victim standpoint. Rather, you a person that just lost a child, my heart goes out to you. That pain is real. And I commend survivors out here. on our war chest mother that's out here every week in these streets. And she still ain't got no accountability. And people came, this photo out with this beautiful queen and still left her hanging. The same thing that they did to my family. It's disgusting. I feel sorry for Aaliyah's mom. Her baby wasn't killed by the police, but in a sense they was. Because anytime you tell people not to, like all they had to do was have a few police officer cars show up. If you let people live like it's the Wild Wild West, what you think it's going to be? Like, let's be clear on that. Like, stop playing. They do stuff strategically and they don't care. I want that same kind of protection that you give up the hill. We need it down the hill. We need it all around the hill. We need it everywhere. To me, independence and freedom is when I can wake up and not have to worry about is my children, is my man, is my loved ones, my family members, any of the members of the West Coalition, is everybody going to make it back home safely? Are they going to get executed on the streets by community violence or killed by a crooked cop? And that bothers me. That ain't so. I don't feel free. I don't know how free y'all feel, but I don't feel free. And the saddest part, ain't nobody giving you nothing out here. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. I work hard for mine. And I appreciate any help that I can get when y'all give it to me. Trust and believe me. Y'all rock. I need all of that. We all need help. And that's why anytime I can do a small act of kindness, sometimes go out your way. Go out your way to ride your coworker home. Go out your way to help an old lady at the supermarket carry her bags, or if she ain't got enough to pay for her groceries, give her a couple dollars. If you in line and you got a whole cart and you see somebody that got 3 items, let them go in front of you. Like, show love. Integrity shows up when nobody's looking. You can act like whoever you want to be out in public, but the real issue of integrity is when all them lights close. Who are you? What are you looking at when you look in the mirror? Are you looking at someone that's pretending? Or are you really looking at who you are? And I just want to check in real quick and we can move this train. Do we have any more additional questions or comments? Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Yes, we do. A few more. Adina said, nope. Asking about like understanding the pronunciation of the woman who was killed here in Baltimore. Adina also commented, the guy who was killed by being hogtied in the heat during a mental health crisis was the day before the 70-year-old. His name is Dante Melton. Hillary also commented, what happened to this 70-year-old woman is unforgivable. Word is coming out that they entered her house prematurely and didn't follow de-escalation protocol. Police are absolutely not qualified to handle mental health crisis. They take their time and are cautious with white people, but not with black folks. Racist system for sure. We need to take some of the police budget and use it for more trained crisis response folks. Policing doesn't make any of us safer. Much love to you always, Tawanda. And Adina commented, sending you love. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I'll add a little something about the 4th of July, Tawanda. You know, Frederick Douglass once gave an outstanding speech, and the title of it was, What to the Slave is the 4th of July? And he lambasts and criticizes and satirizes the mindset that people enslaved in the United States should be happy about the celebration of the 4th of July, like it's really freedom. And in that speech, one of the things he discusses, he lived in Baltimore for a while, and he discusses the slave resale market where people who've been captured, who had been enslaved, were captured, and they then have a market in Baltimore at the time, and they resell those formerly enslaved people or currently enslaved people into the deep South where slavery is most vicious. And he said at nights he would be in his home and he would hear the chains because he lived on a street that was near where the resale market was. And the people engaged in conducting that market knew how much people hated what they were doing. So they would move people towards the market during the middle of the night And Frederick Douglass said he could hear the chains grinding along the street outside where he was living as they were bringing people to the resale market. And one other thing I want to mention. Excuse me a second. Tawanda got cut off and she's back. You're back, Tawanda.
Thank you. I guess they didn't like what I say, whatever they don't like. They call themselves spanking my butt by bumping me offline. Ooh, I'm so hurt. Oh, I'm so hurt. Whatever. Thank you for the compliment, because that's how I take it, as a compliment. That shows me really how powerful I am. So thank you for now. Now I'm really going to step and tip tonight. Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it. But again, sorry I missed your point on what you made about the 4th of July, because I was rudely cut off.
I think we've lost Tawanda again.
And if so, I'll read our statement and then we can proceed. Mic check.
Mic check. Can you say that once more, because you cut off for a few seconds?
I'm saying if what you had said. I said, but if all hearts and minds are clear, would you like for us to go to the sad list? And if that's the case, I can say our statement.
I'd like to just mention one more thing before we go to that.
Sure.
Kalia mentioned a rally that was held earlier today, and I was there. And you're so right, Tawanda, when you talk about the need to tear the system down and build something new. We talked to a lot of very good people at Northeast Market, and one of them was a woman pushing a baby stroller with no baby, with all her things. And she was homeless, and her child had been taken away from her. And it was like, it wrenches your heart to see how horribly some people are treated in this cutthroat system that cares only about money for the rich. So I just wanted to share that, and back to you.
You must have was making some valuable points because you was on choppy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mic check. All right, so before I get cut off again, because they trying to spank my little hands and all that foolishness, we're going to proceed, and I'm just going to say our statement as best as I can. But it is the mission of the West Coalition to pretty much fight for accountability, not just for my big brother Tyrone West, but for all the victims of police brutality and murder. We believe in mediation. We believe that if two people are in a disagreement, that we can actually sit down to the table and agree, and everybody walks away. So we're big on mediation. And unfortunately, the list that we get to the police brutality list, unfortunately, we have no additional information surrounding the circumstances individuals involved. So we apologize if we offend anybody by reading these names of people. But in our eyes, we're just trying to show respect, and we're coming from a place of care. So again, we have no details about the community violence list or the national list. But again, we're just standing here and just saying that nobody deserves to be brutally murdered. You know, that's nobody. I don't care how you live in, what you did, nobody deserves to be brutally executed. And that's just my belief in it. So we're going to take 2 minutes to literally, if you're in a prayer, say a prayer, because I feel like we need it right now. If not, just send nothing but positive vibes. We need all of that, you know. And again, I just want to thank each and every last person being here tonight, commenting, and just, you know, keep in mind that easily one day, God forbid, you can hear one of your loved one name, family members' name. Two minutes. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. The time now is 8, and I want to thank everybody for all the positivity that you sent this way, or the prayers, or just the thoughts. And again, my heart goes out for our sweet Aaliyah that should be here, as well as the other young man that was actually murdered in the Brooklyn home massacre. And we will never forget. And I'm so proud of her beautiful mother for always her babies. Right now, we're ready to go. So, Brian, I'm handing the mic to you. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. I'm going to just take a moment. Some people asked in the comment section about are the names of the people killed by police in the list of names that we read. And those names do not appear in the list that we get from the Baltimore Sun. I don't know what the reasoning behind them being kept out is, but they do not appear. And so after I read the list from that list of the Baltimore Sun, I'm also going to read the names of those 2 people who were killed by the police here in the past 8 days. So, as always, each of these names is a whole universe of person who had family, friends, coworkers, loved ones, and we raise their names up out of respect and as a reason to dedicate ourselves to this struggle. So if you could just echo these names back to me. Tyrell John Curtis.
Tyrell John Curtis.
John Curtis.
Javron Simmons.
Javron Simmons.
Danilo Punnett.
Danilo
Punnett.
Ori Washington.
Ori Washington.
Dante Chase.
Dante Chase.
And killed by police in Baltimore, Dante Maurice Mellon Jr.
Dante Maurice
Mellon Jr.
Poitikarcha Clark Brooks.
Poitikarcha Clark Brooks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have the list of those killed by police around the country, including one of the people recently killed in Baltimore. It covers, in this case, a small span of days from June the 24th to June the 27th. So they don't necessarily include all the people killed on that last day. So this is essentially 3.5 days, and they killed 9 people. It's not as bad as usual, but it remains horrendous. We're going to honor all these people whose lives were stolen by the police, starting on the 24th in Brooklyn, Ohio. A man whose age is unknown, Patrick Kerr.
Patrick Kerr.
In Troutville, Virginia, on the 25th, 23 years old, Liam McCall.
McCall.
In Churchville, Nevada, on the 25th, 46 years old, Denny Venka.
Denny
Venka.
And a sister of ours from Baltimore, an elderly person, not as old as I am, but I'm old as dirt, but 70 years old, on the 25th. And Brian said her name just a moment ago. I'll try to pronounce it as best I can. Poitikarcha Brooks.
Poitikarcha Brooks.
In Las Vegas, Nevada, on the 26th, 71 years old, a name withheld by police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
In Conover, North Carolina, on the 26th, 21 years old, Camden Childers.
Camden Childers.
Camden Childers.
In Winston-Salem, North Carolina, on the 27th, 34 years old, Antonio Betancourt.
Antonio Betancourt.
In Crescent City, California, on the 27th, a man, age unknown, name withheld by police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
And the final person we're upholding this evening who tragically lost his life in Mesa, Arizona on the 27th, a man whose age is unknown, name withheld by police.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. For those unfamiliar with Ashe, it's Yoruba meaning let it be so. And when we say that, we mean let it be so that killer cops are put in cell blocks. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So again, I just want to thank each and every last one of you. Thank you, my sister Queen, Leah, for reading the questions and comments and adding to the conversation. Thank you, Uncle Bill. Thank you, Rachel, who is always here for us. Just thank the whole entire West Coalition. Shout out to my sister Angela and Adina. Just shout out to everybody. Remember, live to love to live. I love you all, and we will see you in the streets. Mark your calendar, and it's going to be 2 events in 1 week. Like literally on the 16th, I want to see Lottie, Dottie, and everybody. We'll be making flyers as reminders. But 6 p.m. at the downtown, the Baltimore Police Department, downtown, 6 p.m. on July 16th, and then on July the 18th, unfortunately, is my brother's commemoration day, and I want to see as many people that can come out to support. I hate going back to a scene, and hate is a very strong word, so I'll take that back. I dislike going to a horrible scene where my brother took his last breath, but I will be on Kentmore and Carroll's Way, and I'll probably get there around 8 o'clock. Normally we do it around 7, but I'm just saying I have to work that day, and I will be there at 8 o'clock. So I'll give you all the time in advance. We'll start up at 8. I won't hold y'all long. I know it's a Friday night. You can come out there. We will be out there on that Friday, and then we're doing a big protest in front of the headquarters because I have a few things that I want to get off my chest for Worthless Worley on the 16th. So live to love to live, and we will see you guys next week.
Excuse me, Tawanda.
Yes.
We have 2 more comments if you'd like to hear them.
Sure.
Kalia, will you be doing those?
Yeah, I can read them. Adina commented referring to Frederick Douglass's poem. Frederick Douglass's descendants still read that every year. And then the final comment is from Descartes, which says, "Good to be here, Tawanda." Mic check.
Thank you. And thanks, Descartes. Thanks, Adina. Thanks, everybody that commented. And unfortunately, the way we brought you in with the video, we're going to take you back out. And then my heart is also going out to Abdul Salam because he was one of the first victims that I knew of that was assaulted by Keller Ruiz and Nicholas David Chapman and Omar on this day, literally in 2013. And thank God that he survived. So my heart goes out to him. And my mind, for some reason, I just started thinking about our beautiful sister, Queen Nicole Hatterford. So she always was here every chance she could get. And she was doing big things, and she certainly lost her life this year. It's been so much of trauma and pain. It's just crazy. But live to love to live, and we will see you guys next week. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
And Mr. West, begging for his life, and Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No, why you
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said, police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the Gun Trace Task Force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, when will Baltimore City State's attorney see the prosecution of Bernardez Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump-out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salam vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon them.
And the officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working and working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, we, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, we see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.
The film's done? I didn't hear Rachel say it, but I think we're straight.
I'm going to wait because it might be taking us a while.
All right. Well, good night, everyone. Yeah, I'm sorry. We were talking and I may have missed the ending, but I think it ended about 30 seconds ago.
Okay, well, good night.
All right. All right. Take good care. And don't worry about rushing the tickets. I'm going away tomorrow to visit an old friend. I'll be gone about 3 days.
But again, I'll take a picture of your ticket. I'm going to tell him to take a picture of it and send it to y'all so y'all can know, you know, the ticket. I'll give you a physical one.
All right. Thanks a lot. And take good care.
I appreciate it.
All righty. Bye-bye.
See you.